So, welcome back to the review for Dexter, episode 2, Dexter New Blood. And we're going to get straight into this episode about Dexter and his son, part 2. So, Dexter pretty much is talking to his son, and he just don't know how to come, directly at him, like what to really say, because he feel like, well, I abandoned him. So, the first thing he going to say out of his head is, you got really big. Like, of course he got big. He's damn near a teenager. So Dexter ended up making him a sandwich and stuff. The son gets up and he's walking around looking through Dexter's stuff, looking at his knives, looking at his photos. And Dexter's all like, trying to make up this image that he's not a full-time killer. Like, oh yeah, we won first place in the tournament, the bowling tournament, all this stuff. And his son looking at him like, I know that you was my pappy and I'm your son. Like, this image you trying to put on is not giving what you think is giving. It's not putting up a good illusion like that. So Dexter is just really, he just very confused. Like, he know he wants to be there for his son, but at the same time, he trying to treat his son like his son is a 5-year-old little boy. And it's like, he's not 5. He's not 5 at all. He's seeing through your bullshit, bro. I'm pretty much expressed to him how, he feels a certain type of way about Dexter because he's like, he thought Dexter was dead all these years, and because he wrote a note, but then he found out that Dexter was not dead, and that kind of bothered him. And he found out that Dexter was dead because of a note that Hannah had. Because I was thinking to myself, who the fuck was watching Dexter Kid all this damn time? So I forgot the Hannah lady that had plants, and he pretty much said, Dexter's like, what happened to Hannah? And his son said, well, she died of cancer. So Dexter, I swear, he's selling his face. He's like, Hannah's dead? Like, yes, everybody you come in contact with is dead, Dexter. So she died of cancer, which I don't know. If that's Dexter's kid, I don't know. He gave me like he could have killed Hannah, but we're going to find out later in this series how much he got Dexter's DNA. This is his damn son, because he going down the whole list how he found Dexter. And child, if it was me, I couldn't. Dexter just been a forgotten memory. So, he pretty much tells, so Dexter's like, so she been dead for 3 years. Where the fuck you been at? And he was all like, he went to foster care. He bounced through different homes. And he's like, nobody really wanted a teenager like that. So then he started going on a search to look for Dexter. And he said, you know how many Jim Lindsays it is in the world? And Dexter gonna say and said, that's the point that he named it still Jim Lindsays, because it's a lot of them. So he said he ended up finding some picture on him on Facebook with some guy, that bowling picture, and he saw Dexter's face, because pictures online, social media is always telling everybody, because social media is made for fucking cops and stalkers and Larrys and Joes. So pretty much the son is Dexter point 2. He's like a whole goddamn killer way he's breaking down this shit. Like, oh, I just tracked down the code and did it. Like, you clearly, I don't know about you, kid. So he pretty much been on his own for like at least 3 years. On that Facebook thing, they probably post a location of the whole bowling tournament where the time was at, and that's how he pretty much found him through Facebook. Y'all know Dexter got his sister in his head, his crazy ass sister. So she pretty much telling Dexter, if you don't end up killing him, you're gonna pretty much fuck him up and all this stuff. She come out looking like a horror story. And Dexter's all like, well, keeping him here will probably stop me from having the urge to kill people. So she against it. Dexter's with keeping his son there. But my thing is, I think the son already know his father is in certain activities. Because you gotta forget, from last episode, it was blood outside. That ain't for no fucking deer. So Dexter ends up waking up early, and he go outside and stuff, and he sees all this blood that's like in the snow. So he's all like, oh my God, this is what happens when I give into my urges. And it's like, sir, that blood been out there all motherfucking night. Even if your son didn't see it, somebody saw the damn blood. Shit, the damn animal saw the damn blood. So now Dexter gonna decide with his smart ass that he's gonna get a shovel and he gonna take some snow and shovel it on top of this blood. Like, sir, this is not my So, and then you gotta forget, like, Dexter's kind of rusty because he haven't been doing this for over 10 years. So he's taking snow. He gonna put it on top of the my gosh, this is bad. Oh my gosh, and then he got a huge property too, so that blood could be scattered all over the place, all over the whole property. So that blood that you probably saw, it's like glass. It's like when you break glass and you sweep it up. Chances are you gotta move everything around in the whole room and check everything, because glass can like go anywhere, like everywhere, and you probably didn't catch it with your naked eye. So you gotta like examine the whole room, that you make sure that you got the glass, because it's glass, so it can be anywhere. So doesn't mean the blood that you saw is all the blood that you got. So yeah, yeah, nice thinking. He sure was thinking on his toes with that one. Okay, this why they get even more motherfuckers juicy, okay? So, y'all know how I told y'all how Dexter was taking the snow, put on top of the blood to try to hide the blood? Well, he in the middle of doing that. Tell me why 30 motherfucking cop cars pull up, okay? Because he got like the biggest land in the whole town. And his land is more close to the woods, like real deep in the woods. So, they pull up and it was all like, his girlfriend got the car and she was all like, Matt went missing, and since like in the woods, that's how it's reported. So since you the one that's closer to the woods, your property's pretty much in the woods, we want to pretty much set posts up here to go look for Matt. And Dexter's like, yeah, but then Dexter here, he gonna say, this is one storm of fuck, like this is a disaster, get ready to motherfucking happen. And well, shit, they did this shit fast. Then our boy died yesterday. They looking for him the next day. Shit, I gotta take people to look for missing people a long time. But okay, I guess. But Matt's father got a lot of money, so and his family's real connected to everybody in the town. So everybody's setting up shop at his house, and his girlfriend like, I need to go in your house and I need to do something. I need to write something on your table. Blah blah. So when she getting ready to walk upstairs, he forgot his son's in the house. So he's like, wait. So his son and walking out, and his son's like, what's going on? And his girlfriend was like, Jim, who is this? And the son walks up and said, I'm here since I'm Jim's son. And she looking like, Jim got a son? Because it's like nobody, Jim, aka Dexter, he's an open closed book. So people know him, but they don't know him. So she looking like, well, okay, like this is weird. Like, I got a daughter, but I didn't know you had a son. So Harrison, I'm talking to Dexter's girlfriend, and she's all like, so, how's your mother? Blah, blah, blah. And he was all like, yeah, my mother, she died, but I came up here to pretty much stay with Jim, because my mother died and stuff, but we kind of working the situation out to see if I want to stay here or not. So she's like, oh, okay. And then the cop lady's like, well, I have a daughter. She's your age. I should talk or hang out or blah, blah, blah. So he's like, that sounds cool. So she don't believe him. So Dexter came in. He's like, thanks for covering for me. He said, I'm not covering for you. I just want to copy my business. And I'm like, child, he did that shit on purpose just to mess with Dexter, because Dexter don't like people to be in his business. And all that information, that's a lot for Dexter, for that lady to know. Because, she a cop. She don't start putting things together. So, especially with him being here, she gonna look him up in the system. The whole town came out for this little bastard to look for Matt, which he was a whole fucking nuisance. And so they all pretty much having a little search party, and they checking all around the whole facility. They check around the whole thing, the whole property. Okay. So and on top of that, they got a droid. Like a little android, or not an android, but what I'm talking about, a little thing, little robot thing that be up in the air scanning the property. So now Dexter's is like, great, like can this take it any better? So he pretty much tells girlfriend, me and Harrison can help look for him too, but we can look from the back because my his little cart thing can go through it. So she's all like, okay, you and your son. And she said it with like a nasty ass attitude, and he was just like, oh great, like she's mad because she feels like she should know that he had a son. So I'm like, girl, you gotta get over that. Jim was an open closed book. This little janky robot they had that's supposed to watch over the property to go help them look for Matt. Tell me why the damn thing broke and fell down on the ground. It landed on a tree and then it fell right into the snow. So then they're gonna say, maybe I can get away with this at all. Maybe I can get away with this. And I'm like, okay, her team might be a little stupid, but her and the black guy, they not giving me very stupid. They give me like they detectives. They just like to work in a slow ass town because they don't like to do work. But when it's time to detect, they good at doing their job. So Dexter, if this ain't fucking karma for your goddamn, this is If this ain't karma, if this ain't no, your ass should have not. This is giving me you know better, but you decide to not do better. So now the consequences are crucial. It's like when you do dumb stuff when you younger in your 20s, you get away with it. When you get to like your 30s, it's like you grown, like you know better. That's when you get like the harshest punishments. Like you 30, you try like you in your 20s. This is energy. Well, this is giving me that you had a fucking Saturn return and Saturn's gonna attack your ass because Saturn like, listen, I let your ass get away with killing motherfuckers when you was 20, but now that you 30 and up, it's your ass. So now you gotta work extra hard to make sure they don't find out you the one that killed Matt. Then test and then put you in a test by giving you a cop for a girlfriend to see if you will obey the fucking law or the authority. And you still broke the rules. So yeah, Dexter gonna have a lot. He gonna have his son might have to end up helping him. If it's a killer in the time, what it's giving me is another killer in time besides Dexter. So this earlier in the episode, this girl was in some room. I don't know if she locked up or not, but she's in some hotel room. And when she came out the shower and stuff, she came out the shower, came out the bathroom. She saw champagne and strawberries covered with chocolate. She saw all this food, so she decided to take it beside herself that she's gonna drink the champagne and eat this food. And she don't know what the fuck this food came from, but she gonna eat it, gobble it down. So now we flash back. No, we fast forward, and she's throwing up. She's sick. She coughing. First of all, didn't your mama tell you you don't just eat anybody's food, darling? Why'd you sit your big grown head ass and go out like the first thing your head should have been like, I didn't order room service, like where does food come from? But the first thing that came in your head was like you was a Willy Wonka factory, and this girl decided to scarf down all this food down her body, down her throat, drink all this champagne, and now she's sick, throwing up in the bathroom with her hard-headed ass. It's like, girl, what did you expect? So now she don't know why she's so sick. Oh, well, I know, because you got food poisoning. Somebody didn't spike your food. Then on top of that, they have a camera in the room, so they're watching her on this camera, this person. And I don't think this is Dexter. This is somebody completely different. Dexter and his son end up taking this car, driving through the back of the woods, and they go through the trail the trail that Dexter had killed that deer and dragged Matt's body back to his house. And he is driving like a mad person because it's so much blood that's back there. So he's trying to make sure that his son doesn't see it. So he stops, and then his son's like, what is that? And they see a deer on the ground, and it's the deer that he killed from last episode with a throat slit. And he was all like, yeah, it's against the law to kill these deers, and you need to go call Angela. Something's wrong, da-da-da. So the son takes the car. He tells the son to take the car, and I stay here to make sure nobody tamper with the crime scene, and you drive back. So Dexter is playing the whole game. He's just trying to clean up his tracks. So meantime, Angela is at this old creepy ass white guy's house that was in the first episode when all the kids were protesting against him about him having GMOs and everything and killing the environment. But little do we know, I think he's a killer because the camera that we saw earlier with watching that girl is in his house, and he's giving me very American Psycho energy. Like Dexter's giving me like, I haven't killed in a long time, erratic energy, but he's giving me like, he never stopped. Like, he likes it. So Angela's at this old weird guy's house. So Angela's talking to him, and he pretty much tells Angela like, she came to his house because it's a lot of it's a lot of stuff that got covered on that property, and she's gonna need his helicopter. And he said, sure, you can use it, blah blah. He said, my father used to work in the army and all this stuff, a front. So she was like, thank you. And he gonna ask her when she can leave. He said, that little girl that was protesting, was that your daughter? And Angela's like, yeah. She gave him her name. I'm like, first of all, don't ask me about my motherfucking kid. I've been like, wait a minute. I didn't come here to talk about my daughter. I came here to talk about this helicopter. You don't need to know about her, you old weirdo. So, and then he started talking to Angela. He's all like, her generation understands black and white. Like either this is right or this is wrong. But I do a lot of good things, on on top of some of my bad things, I donate to the whole town. I feed the town. I do all types of stuff, and that's not looked at. It's like, first of all, you're doing charity work because you're trying to fix your fucking karma. You ain't even doing that charity work because you're really trying to help people. First of all, you're a fucking killer. But Angela's gonna really appreciate having a killer for a boyfriend after dealing with this one, because he's giving me Dexter in the next 10 or 20 years. So, yeah. Going back to Dexter. So Dexter's sister is pretty much fucking with him, and she's all like, you know how they say killers go back to the scene of the crime to clean it up? Well, she said, this is fucking ridiculous. So this motherfucker's going around here the whole damn woods throwing snow over all the blood spots that trace back to his house. So he was running around the whole big ass woods, taking snow and throwing it on top of blood. Like, motherfucker, like nobody can push the snow over and see his blood. So she laughing at him. He's like, this is not fucking funny. This is not fucking funny. So he running around this whole, it's like walking around a rainforest trying to cover it all up. Like, sir, first of all, it's a search party. All it takes is somebody to step on our snow. Look at the bottom of their shoe and see some blood, sir. I don't know. Like, Dexter really killed this motherfucker in the heat of the moment, because now he's like regretting it. It's like it's a one night stand or something for him, because this is just bad. So he walking around here throwing snow over blood and running around acting like a crazy man. So Dexter decide that, so when he's throwing snow on top of the blood, he's having flashbacks when he hit Matt in the head with the gun, and how Matt's head landed right on this rock. It's blood on this rock. So he digging through the snow. He finds the rock with the blood on it. So he takes the damn rock. He sprays it with Windex. He rifles it down and he puts it in his bag. And his sister, you know, that she's in his head. She's all like, she's just laughing. She's like, you think getting Windex and cleaning that rock is gonna hide that you killed that guy? You think that's gonna really help you? And he's like, yeah, it's gonna help me. So then she's all like, you know, you're gonna fuck your son up. You're gonna lose your son, all this stuff. It's like, it's bad enough you having your son look for a guy that you killed. So he running around here acting like the Mad Hatter. Like, Dexter is just desperate at this point. This motherfucker literally took a rock, got some Windex, and wiped it down with some Windex and threw it in his bag. Yeah, this motherfucker rusty. Next to doing this like he never did this before. And then on top of that, he got his crazy ass sister in his head, and she was unstable when she was alive. Dexter ended up throwing Matt's glove somewhere. Then he runs back to the crime scene with the deer, and he goes over there and he sees Native Americans over there. Well, I call them the Mexicans because some of these people they be casting play Native Americans be Mexican. And I'm like, that's offensive as fuck. So the Native Americans sitting there and they are like, who would kill this animal? You know, the deer, because the deer, you're not supposed to kill this deer. This deer is like really the big deal. It's ancient. And Dexter comes over. He said, I don't know, maybe Matt kind of could have killed it because he probably is on the one for killing the damn deer. And so Native American's pissed. So Angela walks up and she's all like, listen, we got still search for Matt and all that stuff. And Native American got he upset because he's like, well, did he kill the deer? Like, what's going to happen? What type of punishment? And she's all like, well, we're not going to stop looking for Matt. We're going to have to still keep the search party going. But y'all need to get off the crime scene because y'all messing it up. So Dexter going to say in his head, damn, why she had to be a good cop? It's like, that's not, because even though she in a slow town, probably because she don't like to work, doesn't take away that she's a good detective. Like, 5 of them bad cops, but she's a good detective when it's time to be a detective. She doesn't want to take things slow. His son is paying attention. His son gonna say, why do you keep on asking you questions like he wasn't a cop? And he was all like, oh, they don't know. And she's like, well, mom told me you were a cop. And he was all like, being around crime scenes is, I don't feel good doing it. And right now in my life, I'm real peaceful. So I don't like bringing it up and talking about it. And it's like his son is catching on that Dexter's lying, and he know who his father is. Dexter been real rusty on these streets. Dexter became some internal conflict in his head. So he in the car, he getting ready to leave, go back to his job thing to go check for the gun that Matt bought. And his sister, that's in his head, she comes out and she's all like, you're gonna fuck him up and stuff. At least he's not as awkward as you are and all that stuff. And Dexter's is all like, I'm going to be there for my son, and this person I am is more peaceful and blase blase. So then Dexter was all like, so next she yelling at him and stuff. This is all in his head, and he starts screaming. Well, mind you, he in the car, like he's in the physical, she's in his head. He starts screaming, and this little girl that's a teenager is outside smoking some weed or something, and she look at him, and he look at her, and he's just like put the peace sign up, like, hey. And she looking like, that was creepy, but that might come back to haunt Dexter, because like, why are you in your car screaming and nobody's in there? That looks strange. Dexter's at home with his girlfriend. She's at his place, and he's all like in his head, like, "Oh, is this the part when she says I'm too closed off and she wants to break up with me?" And then she telling Dexter like, "I'm glad that your son's here." She said, everybody has secrets and all this stuff. So she ends up telling Dexter, Audrey, that's supposed to be her daughter, is not actually her daughter. She adopted her. And Dexter's like, what? I guess she adopted a little girl because somebody abandoned the little girl. But the gag is, what if that killer that's watching this one lady monitoring her on this camera thing in this room is probably somebody that probably killed Audrey's mother? We don't know. You can't just say somebody abandoning a kid. You don't know what's going on in that little creep ass town you in. She just feels like she can just release on Dexter with this one. So she happy to know that Dexter is a child, because now she feels like she can confide in him even more about herself, about being a parent and the struggles of raising a kid and dealing with, am I a good parent or not? And she's all saying, that's good that he's here, because you had to enroll him in school, give him some clothes, give him a car, college prep. And Dexter like, well, goddamn, the motherfucker just came last week. Shit, you trying to get me to get him ready to go to Harvard? Like, we didn't work out the whole deal that I'm a killer yet. Besides, the rate that Dexter's son go, he gonna be in Killer University than college. So Dexter's like, Dexter always end up finding himself in some goddamn family type of style relationship female. Like, he really find like a female that's like, let's get together and have the kids together and go to Disneyland and do all this. And Dexter's like, oh my gosh, like, this shit does not turn me on. You know what turns Dexter on? Looking at blood. Like, this man has an orgasm looking at blood. Always the weird ones find the normal ones. Okay, it's never the normal ones find the normal ones. It's always the normal. It's either the woman's normal or the man's weird. It's either the woman's normal or the man, or it's either the man's normal or the woman's weird. It's like, what's it? Opposite attraction. Dexter talked to his girlfriend. The girlfriend said, I bet Audrey and her friends taking good care of Harrison. Well, let me tell you about these old kids. So they supposed to be doing a little search party and looking for the body, blah, blah, blah. So they end up finding this little abandoned house. I guess they break into it like once in a while. And they in there chilling, sitting on the couch, smoking weed, doing what badass teenagers do, get into stuff. And Dexter's son there, Harrison, he's there, and Audrey smoking weed. She trying to pass him the blunt. He's like, nah, I don't smoke and all this stuff. So Harrison with these badass little kids, and they all like, what happened to your mom? And he was all like, well, my mom, I lived with my stepmother. She died of cancer 3 years ago. It's like, what happened to your other mother? How she died? And he was all like, well, he just didn't want to answer that question. So Audrey was all like, you know what, guys, let's not ask no more questions. So he was all like, let me go get some wood. Harrison said, let me go get some wood to make it warm in here. So when he leaves his bag on the counter. I'm like, that's such a classic move. And the boys going through his bag and stuff, and Audrey's like, get out his stuff, da da da. So they looking through his stuff, like, I'm just trying to realize if he not a creeper or not. It's like, first of all, you the one acting creepy, you going through this little boy stuff. So they find into a book, and he's like, I guess he draws a lot. And they was just like, so Harrison ended up coming from the back. He hits the wall thing, and they start running back into his seats like they didn't do nothing. And he just looked irritated. Back to this girl again that was in this room. So she ends up waking up, and she going through her bag, and she can't find her phone. And she's all like freaking out, like, what's my phone at? Da, da, da. So next thing she gotta go to the door, and there's no doorknob. So now she banging on the door, screaming, let me out. And then she sees cameras in the corner of the room. So then she just starts screaming and crying. And I'm thinking to myself, is that the girl from episode 1 that was at the bar, and she was a college student or something like that, and she couldn't afford nothing to eat, and Dexter's girlfriend was all paid for her meal and told her to go to this shelter that was down the street. I think that's her. So she caged up somewhere in somebody's house, and I think it's that guy that owns the helicopter and stuff. So now we going back to Dexter, and Dexter is child. So they up here setting up campfire at his place. He damn near gave them cocoa, coffee, all types of stuff. He been feeding the whole crew. He done made hamburgers for everybody. He didn't fed everybody. So Dexter at this point, he's just in his head like he's ready for this search party to end. He just want to pray that everybody go home because he don't want them at his crib all day long. And honestly, I was thinking that too, like, y'all gonna stay here all motherfucking day for badass Matt? Y'all really break y'all neck for Matt the disrespectful. Matt is an asshole, and I see why them Native American guys got mad because they like, well, when our girls go missing, y'all don't even search for them. You said, oh, she ran away, she gonna come back, but Matt go missing. The whole time gotta come and chill at Dexter's house to look for Matt. Like people give a fuck about Matt. So yeah, Dexter just wants this to end. He's just tired. Angela pulls up and she tells Dexter that he's not in the woods, so we don't got set up here no more, so everybody can go home. So Dexter's like, he's just happy. And then she said, he said, what about the glove you found? He said, well, his friend confirmed that was his, and the blood that was on it was from the deer. So Dexter was all like, oh, so he did kill that deer. He probably, so she's like, yeah, he probably ran to New York because he didn't want to face prosecution. And Dexter was all like, oh, well, you cracked the case. And Dexter instead was like, thank goodness you believe my narrative. And Angela, Dexter's girlfriend, gonna say, well, the case still ain't closed. My thing is, he's still missing. Like, they gotta see him alive for the case to end. He's still missing. So even if they did think he fled to New York, they gotta see him alive for them to close the case. So yeah. So now we're going back to the whole thing about the camp thing being over. So Dexter's girlfriend's daughter comes up and she's all like, Dexter's girlfriend tells the daughter, Audrey, you're grounded. And she's like, how am I grounded? She's like, I know you was at that abandoned house in the woods. So they kind of go back and forth, and she's all like, you treat me like a tyrant and all this goofy stuff. So, and then the number one thing the daughter says, like, I'm not Iris. So I guess Iris was her, I don't know, sister or somebody, because Native American guy brought up the Iris situation, how she went missing and how they didn't find her, and they kind of just throwed it under the rug. So I guess Iris is Audrey's mother. So then after that situation, we go to Dexter, and Dexter takes Harrison in the house and he shows him a place he can sleep, which is in the closet. Because I don't know what the fuck this room supposed to give. Tell me you don't want me in your life. Tell me you don't want me in your life without telling me. So Dexter is talking to Harrison, and Harrison's like, I just want to know why you left us and stuff. I just want to know what's going on. And Dexter is just giving him. So now Harrison tells Dexter that he reads his note, and he says, on this note you wrote, call me if Harrison starts to show dark tendencies. And Harrison, asked Dexter, like, why would you write that? Like, what would you mean the dark tendencies? Like, what would come out of me? That's why you left? And Dexter's like, no, you was a sweet, kind little boy. You should have told him that I was talking about puberty, because dark tendencies, like, you get a beard, you get angry, puberty, your hormones out of whack, your brain's not fully developed until you're 25. So here's this man, Dexter, why the fuck would Dexter write that in the notes? Call me when he showed dark tendencies. And this bitch damn near died. Okay, sir. And it's not like she had his number to even call Dexter, because Dexter's in the middle of nowhere and he didn't want to be found. He damn near changed his name to Jim. What's his name? Jim Darcy or some shit like that. So even if his son did have dark tendencies, it's not like he would have really known, because he cut off the whole connection for his son to even contact him and know him. Like, Dexter really erased his son out of his life. Like, he didn't even kind of watch him from a distance. He just kind of went on with life, changed his name, found a girlfriend, lived in town, and just changed his whole identity. Like, that other life he had in Miami did not exist. Like, he did not have a son. Like, he was never married. Like, all that stuff that he did in the past did not exist. So yeah, pretty much telling the son, I had demons and stuff, and this son looked like, okay, that still don't explain the fact that you left me in fucking Argentina. Like, he was like, when your mother died and your auntie died, I took it real hard. It's just a lot of death. And it's like, sir, You was a grown ass man, and this is a little ass boy. You left him with this strange ass woman in Argentina. Okay. Um, Describe what demon you talking about, because it's a lot of demons. So is it depression demon? Because you could have went to therapy for that. Like, what demon is you talking about, sir? So Harrison's is looking at him because Dexter's just doing riddles. He's just going around circles. He's not hitting directly at the point. He's just using basic ass words everybody does. Like, I got demons. Like, bitch, congratulations. You on Earth, which is kind of hellish. So everybody has something. So, like, what is you trying to say, sir? So Harrison's like, not Big Daddy didn't pull up. So Dexter, he over there happy. He feel like he got away with, and I don't know where his car pulls up, and it's Matt's father. So Angela tells Matt's father, like, I've been trying to call you all day. And Matt's father's like, did you find him? And she was like, no, but he's charged with a crime. And he's like, what crime? For killing an animal on a reservation land or something like that, right? And he like, what? So Matt's father is mad at Angela, and he's all like, you can't call the search party off, and I want to find my son, and I don't want him to freeze to death and all this stuff. So he turns around, he gives out this whole speech and telling everybody, do you know what I did for y'all? I donated trucks. Half of y'all kids have worked for my company. I have helped you out. He's like, this is a town I help each other. Like, he's like, stand up for me and my family. Child, the only reason why everybody was so comfortable with calling out the search for Matt, because Matt, little asshole. Because the father was on like, if Matt did kill that buck and he was in trouble, the first person you call will be me, because I'm the one in front of the damn lawyer all the damn time. So the father is pretty much like, he's just like not taking no for an answer. Like, he wants to find his son, and that's just down that. Ain't no, let's drink some coffee, go home. Like, he want to find his motherfucking son. So Angela calls back on the search party, and they got to do the search party all through the night. So now Dexter's like, oh my God, this is a fucking shitstorm. And Matt's father, Andrew Caldwell, he all like, thank you. Like, we're going to find my son. We're going to find him. When it comes to people missing, I don't like that. Because I always feel like when somebody's missing, 9 times out of 10, they dead on some real shit. So yeah, Dexter, see, this what I'm telling you is, see, you got away with it when you was in your 20s, when you was younger. But now that you older and you know better and you know the consequences, now you got to go through so many hurdles and obstacles. See, Dexter didn't have these many obstacles and hurdles. Now he had to jump over the fence with so much stuff, and now he got to cover up the stuff, and then he gonna have to eventually reveal to his son about who he really is, and his son might end up having to come and help his father pass the tradition on. So, are you fucking kidding me? So, the fire pit that Dexter have outside? Tell me why Matt's body, okay, the body that he chopped up in 1,000 pieces, is under that fire pit. Like, if that ain't no goddamn slap in the fucking face, and his daddy's on the property, and you talking about his son is chopped up in so many pieces under the fire pit of people he was cooking meals for. No, not cooking meals for, but warming the people up that came to help search for Matt. Oh my gosh, Dexter is fucking messy. He is a messy bitch. So that's it for this review on Dexter New Blood, episode 2, season 1. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, keep notification on for my podcast and my YouTube. I'm still doing the giveaway. And yeah, that's it for this review. I hope y'all enjoy yourself. I hope y'all enjoy my review. I hope y'all enjoy my breakdown. I'll be uploading this on my YouTube channel and for the visuals and stuff. But then for like the audio, it's going to be on my podcast. So you can look at both of them. So if you're in a car driving and you can't watch, the screen, then you can go look up my podcast and listen to it on, Wacky Retrograde News, because, honey, this is definitely giving us a retrograde energy, because his son is for the past, and a lot of the stuff that Dexter been doing is coming back to haunt his ass. So let's start this over, and that is it for this review, and thank y'all for tuning in, and that's it.